We are here. We are on episode 3 of the Dippidi Deep Dive. I'm very excited this week. We have Scott Salvarian here with Sierra Interactive, a amazing product that I'm excited to be able to let everybody see here today. It is a all-in-one system for your real estate business, website, IDX, CRM, and a whole lot more. So excited to have you here, Scott, and would love for you to just go ahead and kick off by introducing yourself and what you do with Sierra.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. So again, my name is Scott Salvarian. I am the Director of Industry Relations here at Sierra Interactive. I've actually been a licensed agent for over 18 years now, licensed in 2 states, New Jersey and Colorado. So pretty deep background in the industry as an individual agent, team leader, former Tom Ferry coach. And then I joined Sierra about 2.5 years ago, full-time in a different capacity. And now I'm heading up our industry relations. So I do actually still run a business remotely, and I've been using Sierra as an agent in my business for about 6 years now. So
amazing. Yeah. So you are easily a practitioner of Sierra. You're a practitioner in real estate. So you got a good balance here in terms of knowledge of what the product itself and how to use it as an agent.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm pretty deep in solving the real world problems with the technology. So I love doing that. And I can relate really well to our clients because I am one. So really helps me in my role and enables me to help our clients as much as possible too.
Well, that's awesome, man. No, and I don't know if you could actually, it sounds like you've been with Sierra for a long time. You've been in the industry for a long time. So can you kind of touch on the origin story of Sierra Interactive and just kind of what inspired this platform to be built and how it's kind of evolved over time?
Sure. So I'll do my best here, Austin. I do know a little bit of it. So our founder, Ben Pesco, started the company about, maybe 13, 14, maybe 15 years ago. I think an agent asked him to create a website, like a one-off website. We're talking 15 years ago, like there was no IDX, right? Like there wasn't any of what we have now. Some of us can remember that. We were basically going on the MLS and figuring stuff out. So he developed one website for an agent, I believe, in California. And that's why we're named Sierra. He named it after the Sierra Nevada mountains. And then that kind of spun off into developing another website for another agent. And things just kind of took off from there. Eventually getting into the IDX space, we have our own basically proprietary front end system, which I'll touch on in a little bit, which enables us to really shine in the SEO world. Because of that proprietary framework, as well as our proprietary IDX connections as well. So,
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I've met Ben through many conferences. Dippidi's actually sponsored the Sierra Summit a few different times, and so I got to meet Ben out there. It was a pleasure to meet him. Brilliant person. And made a brilliant company with a brilliant team. So it's been fun to be affiliated and work together.
He did an amazing job. And I mean, kind of to bring you up to the current times, Ben exited the company about right when I joined about 2 years ago. I hope I didn't scare him off. And now run by our CEO is Peter McLaughlin. And he brought in a new leadership team that has really taken us in a terrific new direction in regards to the stability of our product and what we're looking to do from a creativity perspective. So it's been super cool over the past couple of years to see things happen.
Yeah, I love it. Now, I mean, and that's kind of what's interesting. People that may not know Sierra Interactive, they're probably like, well, okay, well, what exactly is this? So what problem does Sierra Interactive solve for real estate agents?
Sure. So we're really the only real estate platform that's going to let you differentiate your brand and personalize your lead follow-up, right? So we're an all-in-one software platform that includes an IDX website connected directly to a backend CRM. And the customizations that you're able to do and the flexibility the platform gives you really enables you to stand out from the crowd with much more effective branding and lead nurturing.
Love it. So is this better, would you say, for agents, teams, or brokers? Like, is this who's the best suited for the Sierra product?
Great question. Our focus is really teams. That's kind of where we shine because of the flexibility and what we offer. Not that we can't help the other areas of the industry, but that's sort of our sweet spot is teams like six plus all the way up to 100 plus teams.
Love it. Well, I'm not sure if you're ready, Scott, or not, but let's do this. Let's jump in. Let's do a demo. I'd love to showcase the Sierra product and everything that it has. Us at Dippidi as
Sure.
advertisers have clients on Sierra. We've been managing campaigns all the way through from generating leads on Google, Facebook, retargeting campaigns that are very custom in nature to try to book appointments, and doing a lot of content creation on Sierra's platform for probably close to 5 years now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be able to showcase this on our channel, and so that way people can really understand the power of all Sierra offers. So
Yeah.
if you're ready to rock, let's do it.
For sure. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'd love your take, as I start going through here as to from an advertiser's perspective, what kind of features highlight for you that you can kind of explain to our audience as well. So that's awesome. So we're going to start with the front end website. Shiny objects are, I think, an agent's favorite thing for the most part. So we'll start there. Everybody wants to know what the websites look like. And we've essentially got 3 different website types. Functionality is the same. What differentiates the type is the look and feel of what it looks like. So I'm going to show you all 3. The first one we're looking at is our pro site type. And you can see here, it's a little bit more buyer centric, right? Like, and property centric. So typical search bar right front and center for visitors to type in a property address if they want. And you can highlight properties on the website. Now, keep in mind, all this is customizable. Colors, when I say customizable, you don't need to email Sierra support to say, hey, I need to change the colors on my website, or hey, I change brokerages, I have to change all the logos on my website. Our clients have full access to do all that, anything that they want, right? So this picture here is customizable. You can put in a video if you want. Any of this text here, if you want to show luxury type properties or different areas like this agent does, this is all customizable. That will then, you can develop the searches to map to those. But getting back to this line, you'll see again, very sort of property centric. Different communities, these you can add to, you can change however you want. We're going to give you 20 communities out of the box. When I say give you, you're going to tell us what 20 communities you want, and then we're going to provide those searches for you. But you can build out, you can see how many communities this agent has. It's really kind of endless what you can do here. And I'm going to dig in a little bit to his community pages because his site is super impressive. And then scrolling down a little bit, you see you can highlight the agent, the team, whatever you want. He prefers to highlight himself, which is great. And you can customize all this text down here as well. Ideally optimizing for SEO, right? Like, so that the text that you put in here can be optimized, and the system is going to help you do that as well.
Love it. Love it.
So, and he's got a whole mess of other stuff on here. So you can see the general look and feel. Lots of calls to action front and center in regards to driving traffic and driving visitors to the site. So next type we're going to take a look at is our ACE site type. And you'll see right away it looks totally different, right? Not just because of the video. Like I said, you can put a video on the pro site, but there's no search bar right away. So I like to think of this site as more kind of highlighting the team's accomplishments with the ability to search as well, right? So, and you'll see what I mean in a second here, Austin. All these buttons customizable, right? Like if you want this to say something different, you can do that. This is going to take you right into the searches, but you'll see it's going to be the accomplishments of the team and or the agent that you can really focus on this site, right? And I'll just scroll down slowly here so you can get a look. Lots of different, you can put in your reviews, you can customize this this verbiage here in regards to the different reviews. So just a little bit different. People ask me all the time, like, oh, which one's better? We don't have numbers that are going to say which performs better because, again, the features and functionality are the same. To me, it really just comes down to personal preference at the end of the day.
Yeah,
right?
when I look at it, I think here, and I'm like, maybe if I was a more of a focus on a listing agent, like I am a listing agent, this site right here might make more sense, being that the first thing isn't necessarily to search for homes. It's more so to see, actually, right here, sell my home, what's my home worth? Search for homes is the third. And as you scroll down there, you see like they did 1.9 billion in transactions. So they're really showcasing the results there of what they do for selling this real estate. So I could see this being beneficial if you were more listing agent focused.
Yep. And again, in regards to features and functionality, when I click into the communities here, after past the home page, all the site types are going to look the same. So really the only difference between the site types is what the home page looks like. The capabilities behind and getting into the communities, and this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of where you guys look at in driving ad traffic to specific pages and specific searches is going to give you that capability, and all three site types have that.
Yep, exactly. So for instance, if a client were with us at Dippidi and we were wanting to focus on driving some leads through people looking in Brightwater here,
Yep.
we would be using a community page or an IDX feed, and then going, actually, I don't know if you want to show this feature, but up in the top left, if you go highlight, you can build the tracking links. And it's kind of hiding right there in that top, and you click that, and that'll help us build a registration page in which we can build for the Google PPC or Facebook and Instagram campaigns to capture leads through these pages.
Yeah, perfect. I'm really glad you brought that up. Usually I forget to bring that up. So, but from your perspective, that's super important. So, cool. So the third site type we have is called our Pinnacle site. Now, this is the newest site type that we've released, and it's really designed to look more like the national portals do at this time, right? So a little bit of a combination of both sites. I like to think of it as where you've got the search bar right in front, you've got the ability to show properties on the site, but again, you've got the ability to highlight your experience as a team as well. So this is becoming more and more popular, as you can imagine, and totally flexible like the others as well.
Yep, I like this one. This is very nice.
Yeah, cool. So a couple of the things I want to show you in regards to sort of the front end websites is, and I'll come back to Rudy Holmes here because again, he does an amazing job. So on the other side, I clicked into sort of the community pages. He likes to call it areas, again, totally customizable. But in regards to building your brand, right, which is one of our focuses in regards to giving agents the capability to build their own brand, he does a phenomenal job. So you can see how many different areas he's built out. He likes to break it down by county. You can do it however you want or however you feel people search within your area, right? So you can deliver them the information in the way that they're used to getting it. If I click in LA County, again, look at all the pages that he's built out.
Right? Yeah, what's great, he's done here is content organization on steroids, because now if people are searching by county, he has keywords on the site to find it. If they're breaking it down into Brentwood, he has keywords on the site to find it. But in neighborhoods and pockets within Brentwood, he has all these broken down. So his content structure here is just chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's crazy. And again, our proprietary SEO framework really enables you to take advantage of doing the work to build the site out, right? So I'll go one step further here and show you his Beverly Hills. Again, agent branding. He talks about the different neighborhoods in Beverly Hills, right? Because, I mean, look, you've heard it from all the coaches in the industry, like what's going to separate you from the national brands? It's that hyper local knowledge that you can deliver to the client that the national portals can't, right? So he's really taking advantage of that and adding in video and, breaking down different searches, and does really it's one of the best sites I've seen.
Yeah, this is awesome because I'm looking at it from multiple aspects here. From an SEO standpoint, he has the homes for sale in Beverly Hills here. He has all these keywords all intertwined. So everything's very organized to where there's going to be a lot of ways for this to be internally linking within his site. That's going to help his rankings of his pages. And then by adding this video, it's huge because it's going to increase his time on site. So people are watching this video right here embedded on the page, increasing his time on site for this specific URL, the rudyhome.com/Beverly Hills-CA. And it's going to help that page have even better relevancy to rank organically when people are searching for homes for sale in Beverly Hills. So he has done a phenomenal job here. This is really, really good.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I don't know if he's done it himself or used a third party, but again, we provide the access. If you love content creation, you're an agent, you love content creation, go for it. I mean, most of the agents I know want to be out selling houses, which is why, that's where you come in, Austin, to be able to help agents out for that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Super cool. Awesome. All right. So those are some community pages. Let's see what else we want to show you from the front end perspective blogs, the ability to blog and have blogs on your site. Austin, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on blogging these days, and how much value it adds, and how agents should be looking at it?
Yeah, blogging's massive. So my thoughts on it are a couple things. There's like three different aspects of blogs. One, it's content getting added to the site, and then I don't know who said this. I almost feel like it's Jason Pantana. He said, content is king, and distribution is queen, and she wears the pants, right? So at the end of the day, when somebody is adding content to the site, that's huge, but it's the way you distribute content. So blogs being added to the site, you can be looking at, if you index your website with like Google Search Console and you start tracking over time the keywords that are ranking on your site, you'll be able to find some of the ones that are you're ranking high for, that are going to be like a lower hanging fruit, not as competitive. And you could be building your blog strategy around that.
Cool.
So now you can get like more traffic to your site organically, and using those keywords, because they're not as competitive, to like kind of compound getting organic traffic. So that's like one aspect.
Gotcha.
The other aspect that I actually think is the most valuable, because at the end of the day, if you're not dialing or making conversations happen in real estate, you're not going to be successful. So I like to use blogs in advertising, and I use it by retargeting the database. And so if I was adding content once a week, wanting to get in front of sellers, I'm putting a blog on there around selling content. I'm retargeting my database with selling content. And within Sierra Interactive, which we haven't been able to see yet, you can track the activity of the person that's in your CRM. So you can now call the most recently active leads. So there's blogging is massive, because it's just a lower hanging fruit. You could use it in email campaigns. You can use it in retargeting. I think blogs are the cream, like one of the cream of the crops in real estate advertising.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Great to hear, because I'm looking into it personally myself. So love that perspective. So, and I will show that lead activity as we move along the demo here. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
Absolutely.
Cool. So we've got the ability to post blogs, flexibility around that. A couple other cool features that I like to show is, number one is what we call a seller lead site, right? Like, and now this comes with the system. It's not a separate site. Granted, it's a separate URL you have to buy. But let me show you that. So if we go back to Ruby Home again, because he really takes advantage of the site in a massive way. You'll see, you may have noticed before, there's a fast and free estimate button right here. Like, what's your home worth? Everybody wants to know what their home is worth. This is actually going to take you to essentially a home value landing page, right? Now, this is native to Sierra. So you'll see the link is, the URL is different. So you got to buy the URL and then connect this site to it. But once a visitor puts their address in here, answers a couple more general pages of questions, their contact information is now going to go into your Sierra system. So you can take automated action, custom action with them, and they're going to receive a general automated value for their home, as long as you're obviously in a disclosure state. So really cool feature that a lot of our clients do take advantage of to maximize that seller traffic.
Yep, absolutely. And this is the type of landing page we would use as advertisers in a home valuation campaign, for instance, on like Google. When people are searching for what's my home worth on Google, sell my home fast, or home value estimator, what's my Zestimate? Like, if they're Googling those things, you want an ad that has your brand up there on Google. And this is where we would drive them using Sierra right to a page like this. And we can track how many leads are we generating? What was the cost per click, and how many clicks turned into a lead? What was the cost per lead of that? So like, these are great tools that you should be using in an advertising strategy as well with your Sierra site.
Yeah, that's great. Love that. Love that. So this is one of my, I do enjoy this. So we've got another one called a single property site, right? And, in today's market, in any market, it's super competitive to get listings. Everybody wants listings, especially with what happened last year. Everybody's, trying to make that shift, if they haven't already, into being listing focused. So what better way to set yourself apart than to be able to create a custom page for your seller? Again, maybe you want to buy their URL, 123mainstreet.com. You walk into the listing appointment and say, hey, I've already bought your URL, and this is the website, the custom website that I'm going to create for you. So now, while their property is going to be featured on your site through the IDX connection and through the MLS, you can then use this particular single property site to do direct advertising to it, I'm sure. And I mean, look, again, shiny objects, right? Like, clients like those too. So you'll see this is a little bit different than our typical property listing page, where you can add a lot to it, totally customizable. You're picking the colors, you're adding this information in there. But I've actually done this before, where I've walked into a listing presentation. This was all ready to go, attached to the URL I purchased. And it's kind of hard to say no to that. So
yep, that definitely helps you stand out and separate you from competition.
yeah, for sure. Video tours, you can add floor plans in here and everything. So really nice feature. And again, it's all integrated into one system, right? Like, we are the entire system. We're not just the CRM. We're not just the website. So everything is working seamlessly. And we really give you the ability to build out your site the way you want, create your brand the way you want it to look, and create hyper local content to separate yourself from the competition.
Yep, I love it.
Cool. Awesome, man. Well, if you don't have any other questions on the front end site, I'm going to hop into one of my favorites, which is the CRM, but I'm more operationally minded. So
yeah, absolutely. Can we touch on real quick that tracking link a little bit? So because the big thing there is, when people get websites, your website can actually become your best salesperson, right? Like, you want your website to be able to capture leads. You want your website to be able to route leads, everything like that. So in this scenario, I love this tracking link. If you can talk through this a little bit in terms of how this is used in the use case of it.
For sure, man. And I love that you're focusing on this because it really highlights our ability to be flexible with lead capture, right? So it's not just the client's ability to determine how many times they want a visitor to see a property before they have to be forced to log in, right? Like, that's one thing that everybody kind of knows about. But these are really, really cool. And to your point, you can actually make a tracking link off of any page on our website. So if you want to highlight an IDX search, you can make a tracking link off those search results. If you want to highlight a specific property, you can make a tracking link off that specific property. And each one is going to give you the capabilities that I'm going to walk you through now. So what it does, I mean, there's so much you can do with it here, which is essentially, you can determine what you want the registration. You can determine what you want the registration. Ultimately, create this tracking link. It's obviously going to create a link for you. So when a visitor post it on Facebook, run advertising to it, when a visitor clicks on that link, you can determine what kind of registration you want them to experience, right? Do you want them to go right to the information, or to gate it a little bit, if you will? Track what source it came from, so you can keep I have an idea of where your ROI is coming from. And as we scroll down a little bit here, you can add lead tags. Now, what's important about a lead tag? Well, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, because if you add a lead tag, you can actually trigger an automation to happen, and you can then trigger other actions to happen within the system. So you can assign what we call a fully automated action plan. Now, our action plans are like our email, text, automated messaging plans. You can have that fire off right away when somebody registers through this tracking link. You can send them a text message if you want. You can automatically set them up on a property alert based on the information in that tracking link, right? So they're going to visit that tracking link. They may not come back to your website again, but they're going to get that property alert delivered to their inbox the next day and the day after. So again, encouraging them to revisit the website and capture that information.
Yep, I love it. Yeah, this is one of our favorite features as advertisers, because we want to segment, right? Because if we're doing different campaigns on Facebook, YouTube, if you're doing Google, TikTok, whatever it may be, you can go select that source in here and make unique landing pages for the source, so you can really track the ROI of how each channel is performing and how each city is performing, each neighborhood, however you want to segment your campaign out to be. So this is one of the biggest features for us that we love, because on other platforms that are out there, it's not as easy to build out the segmentation quite like it is, where I can go on the front end of the website, go make a search, and then go up in the top left, click a button, and build my tracking link. Like, that's very, very simple for advertisers to do. So if you're planning to run ads on your Sierra site, that tool is one of the greatest in the industry.
Yeah, it's super easy. And again, I'll show. So here's the search results for Beaumont. If I just go up to the top here, and there it is. So any page you can really build a tracking link off of. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Cool. So, all right. So let's get back into the CRM. Again, one of my favorites, just because I'm an ops guy. So, so when you log into the CRM, like, I'm not going to lie, right? A lot of CRMs, people use CRMs as like glorified spreadsheets. I've seen it. I've seen our clients do it. It scares me just a little bit. So the more you can sort of embrace the need to learn about your CRM, the easier your life is going to be. I know it may be a struggle for some of us in the beginning, but really it is, to me, this is the operating system of a real estate business, period. Like this is the core that everything else should be running off of. So that's the other thing that we love to highlight is our ability to be flexible with connecting to other technologies, things like Sisu, things like Fellow, where, hey, we are not going to be the best at agent reporting and agent accountability. We'll have features and functionality around that, but look, Sisu is best in class, right? So we want to be able to be an open platform. We are an open platform that enables you to connect with best in class technology, right?
Absolutely.
So here's what you're going to get when you log in. Basically like sort of a dashboard, if you will, of what needs to be done that day. Real quick snapshot, whether it's you, the team lead, and you can see here, I've got a toggle switch that I can either see my view. If I'm the team lead in production and I only want to see my stuff, I'm going to click at the agent view. If I want to see what's going on in my entire organization, I just click it over to manager view. And I can see how many leads, how many new leads I got, how many leads have been returning, what those leads are. I'll be able to click into them real quick, what tasks are overdue and whose tasks they are. So I can get a snapshot of, hey, who's doing the work and who's not. Again, as the team lead, accountability to me was always huge, because that's how you're going to help your agents be successful, whether they like it or not. And they obviously typically don't.
Yeah.
So you also, a lot of times as Sierra, we'll put messaging up here for information that you need to know, that we feel you need to know. You as a team lead can also put your own messaging here, like, hey, office meeting next Thursday at 2 o'clock. Potluck, whatever you want to do, you have the ability to customize the messaging here as well. So, cool. So let's go into, boy, oh boy, I opened up too much stuff here.
There's a lot to go uncover. I mean, it's a fantastic system.
We're going to go into the lead dashboard, which is basically where all the leads live, right? Probably going to look pretty familiar in some ways, and I'm going to go through a couple of the highlights and features here. You'll see up top, we've got our main menu bar. We've got a couple of other menus up here, and I'll walk through some of them that I feel is important. And then we call that right up here is our filter. Now, these are all completely customizable. We will give you some out of the box, but you can absolutely create what you want to see. And then we've got the ability to create ponds as well. So that's a great feature for our team clients. So they like that a lot. And this is going to give you, again, a snapshot. I like to sort it by who's visited newest, so because that's who's been on the website most recently. And it's going to give you some quick look data here to see what's going on. Up in the top right, we've got our tasks, what needs to be done, and our inbox, right? So showing you those basic pieces, I'll walk through a day in the life, right? If the system is designed the way it should be, right? Which we give you the option. You can design it yourself, or we've got some great partners that have systems that literally plug right into Sierra, that come out of the box designed for you. And when I say designed, I'll tell you what I mean. And I have actually got a partner in here. So I didn't create these filters. The partner created these filters. And the partner created all the automations that go with these filters. So as an agent, take that back. As a team lead, I've got an agent and an ISA that are in my Sierra. All I need to do, because the way the system is designed, is teach them to log into the system, click on these filters, and anybody in these filters need a phone call. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it, right? Like they don't need to do it. They don't need to come in here and say, okay, well, you know what? This lead was on the website yesterday, but they got a call 3 days ago. I don't want to call them. Or this lead was on the website, got a call 2 days ago. I don't necessarily want to call it. So this is just manual. Like agents are going to do that, right? Like they're basically going to end up not logging into the system.
Yeah, they'll get analysis paralysis and be like, "What? Exactly. There's way too much going on."
100%. I mean, look, if you're not like, if you look at this, you don't know where the heck to start, right? So to me, I always look at a system and think, how can I make it as easy as possible for the client to be successful in it? And this is one of the best ways, right? Like design it in a way that they need to do the least amount of work possible in the system. and then go out and sell more houses, right? Like no agent wants to be in their CRM all day. No agent should be in their CRM all day. They didn't get into this business to be in technology. They got into it to sell houses.
Right.
So
but the more agents that are disciplined in their CRM and spend time in their CRM are the successful agents.
Absolutely. And to that point, if it's designed correctly, that time can be spent as efficiently as possible to maximize the time that's spent there doing productive work instead of just messing around and clicking through stuff. So yeah, to your point, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Cool. So filters, super important. The power behind the system, and one of the things we're really known for is our ability to create automations. Now, think about automations as like if-then statements, right? And we arguably have the most powerful automations in the industry with what you're able to do. Things like, clients visited the website 3 times. The system can or however many number of times you want. Turn on this action plan, turn off that action plan, and add a call task for the agent, or populate this filter because the lead has been on the website recently, but it hasn't had a phone call. So you can start getting really creative with how you design these. Instead of just saying a one-step automation, you can really get creative in doing multi-step automations. That again, this is what I mean by when I say building out the system.
Yep. Absolutely.
Cool. Okay. So the other thing, so basically getting back to what I tell my agent and my ISA, clear your call filters, clear your inbox, clear your task list, and then go find more business. It's pretty much it. You want to call through the ponds, you want to call through whatever, but those are the 3 tasks that have to be done every day, right? So just spell it out for them.
Yep, and the system right here through a third-party partner built this out, but they just it's so simple. Just kind of follow that pipeline right there. Make sure everything's at 0.
Yep, exactly right. And to me, and I'm pretty good with this stuff, I didn't want to think through the complexity of building all this out, so I decided to hire a partner. But at the same time, I set up filters for myself to know what the heck is going on, right? Like. Who looked at a listing report recently, right? So how many calls did my one agent make? So this also gets back to my favorite thing, accountability, is if you have the system built out and I know my agent, all they need to do is clear their filters, clear their inbox, and clear their task list. If I'm having my one-on-one with an agent, or an agent, worse yet, knocks on my door and comes in and says, dude, I'm not closing any business. I need more business. I need more business. I love that. I need more business. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at your CRM. If that agent's filters are full, they're not making any phone calls.
Yep.
Right. So that's problem number 1. But if those agents, if the filters aren't full and the agent's actually doing the work, it enables me as a team lead to say, okay, you're doing the work. Maybe we need to talk about what you're saying on these calls, or maybe we need to tweak things a little bit, and enables me to coach them to help them start getting the appointments that they need. So
yep.
That's really so not only do these filters make it easy for the agents to perform in the CRM, it makes it easy for the ops person or the sales manager to help those agents become successful.
Right. Yeah. And like everything's a numbers game when it comes to how many dials you make that turn into conversations, how many conversations turn into appointments, how many appointments into closings, right? So that will help a team lead or a broker owner go, all right, well, this person's they're doing the work. They have this, so they might actually just need more leads. So then it gives them the opportunity to see, is there a way to help them with their lead gen efforts? Is there a way to coach them on doing their own lead gen or things along that nature? So it really does. You have to almost have the foundation organized so you can see where the holes are and mitigate from there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, having it built out is helpful on both sides, both the production side and the management side. So. Okay, so another powerful thing we have is our lead routing rules. So obviously when a lead comes in the system, regardless of where it's coming from, organic traffic that your organization is driving, Google pay-per-click that Dippidi is driving, you may want those leads handled differently, right? So the power of our lead routing rules is really exceptional, not only in regards to getting the lead to, like, people think of lead routing and it's like, okay, lead comes in, I need to get it to the right agent. Okay, that's step number 1, right? Like, okay, that's a piece of it. but we can take a lot more steps than just that. Getting it to the agent. Do you want to do a round robin to agents? Do you want to do first to claim with agents? So a lot of different capabilities there in regards to how you want it distributed, right? We also have the ability to have the system call the agent. So a lead comes in, the system calls the agent. It's basically like press 1 if you want to connect with that lead, push 1 and it connects with you right away. So really closing that speed to lead gap, regardless of, and obviously determining where that lead is coming from. Which agent it's going to. If you want to send it to a lender as well, you can have lender partners in here to distribute those leads to, so they can follow up on them. You can have, as I mentioned before, you've got action plans, which are going to be your email, text, automated messaging plans that go out. And then again, my favorite is what we call the e-alert, which is the property listing alert, right? Like, and I find this all the time, and in my system as well, like people will unsubscribe from your marketing messages all day long, but they will keep those e-alerts and those property alerts coming for years.
Yep.
For years. So if you're not getting those properties on a lead, as soon as they come into your system, you're missing out.
Yep.
And if you don't make sure that all the leads in your system have property alerts, that's a huge gap you need to close.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking to that, let's say, could you show real quick in the, because there's a fast way to do this. If I were to have a system already and somebody just heard that, Scott, and they go, all right, well, how do I get these people on e-alerts that aren't on e-alerts? Is there a quick way to do that, or do I have to individually go figure that out, find it?
Yeah. So great question. And there is an easy way to do it. You essentially create a filter that says hang on one second, actually. How about this? I've got one built already. Fortunately, there's nobody in here, and this is my system, so everybody's on the alerts.
That's great.
You build, right. So you build a filter there's a bunch of different criteria in here, but here's the most important. E-alert is not present, right? So this is going to pull up anybody that doesn't have an e-alert on them. And then I'll just give you an example of how to do this. That filter populates. My internet is slow today. And then what you'll do is, so they say this is the populated filter. You just click on this, and we've got a bulk action feature where you can do a whole mess of stuff all at once. One of the things is add listing alerts.
Yep. Yeah. Just to kind of, while you have this highlighted, like seeing some of the bulk things you could do here, you could add tags, you could add them to an action plan, drip campaigns, assign them to a pond, update the lead status. So if you find you're like, oh my gosh, I got so busy, I didn't continue to update my lead statuses. I forgot to add some tags manually from that open house that I hosted. And when I imported them, I mistakenly didn't add the tag. Like, you can go back and do those functions here at Bulk. So simple, huge feature to help remain organized.
Yeah, and this has made my personal life much, much, much better and easier to be able to do this. And the other thing I'll touch on here, I kind of skipped over till now, is you'll see here you've got assign e-alert and assign market update. And I'll show you the difference between the two, but essentially our e-alerts are our property alerts, right? Like, we can show active, pending, and sold properties, but usually it's the property alert. I see it as something that you're probably going to send a buyer, right? As new properties come on the market, they can go out right away, things like that. Our market updates are a little bit more seller-centric, right? So for me personally, I'm sending out e-alerts on a daily basis because I want them, unless I've talked to the person and had a conversation with them, they're getting a property alert from me every day. The market updates I send out like once a month, right? Like, you don't necessarily need that data every month, and that's going to show the data a little bit differently. And I'll give you an example of it. And it's going to highlight active, pending, and sold properties in a little bit different way. So that's why you see two things.
Love it. Yep. So e-alert, good way to remind it. E-alert mainly for buyer, market update mainly for seller. Now you can use the e-alert where if somebody, like we've done this in the past, we built a campaign where we show a list of recently sold homes in specific neighborhoods and generate leads off of that, because people who would be interested in seeing recently sold homes would be homeowners that are like, oh, that home was in 2 streets over, that one sold. I wonder if it, that's a comp compared to mine. So you could make e-alerts seller focused, but the main use case is buyer.
Yeah, exactly. And let me show you. I'll actually dive into an actual lead record right now to kind of walk you through that. and the information that we show here. So obviously general contact information is going to be here on the side. You'll see a couple of tabs up here, which are going to navigate you to different places. And then this is all the communication, right? Like everything that's happened with this lead and how we've communicated with them. This can all be moved around. You can see this button here. You can reorder these columns in the way you feel comfortable. Again, giving you the ability to customize the system for the way that you work. What action plans are on this lead, if any, what have finished, when they've been on the website, what they've been looking at, what their average price they've been looking at, and things like that. So kind of a quick snapshot of the lead itself. And then we can get a little bit more detailed here. And since we were just talking about the e-alerts and market updates, I'll show you that. In the searches tab, here's the e-alert, right? And what that's going to look like is this. Property search, right? Property search results. Pretty basic. Again, buyer focused, okay? Our market updates, and you can put multiple e-alerts on a client if you want. You can see I've got multiple market updates here, but you can put more than one e-alert if they're looking at more than one area. Let's take a look at a market update. Hopefully this is still active. There you go. So you can see the layout's a little bit different. You've got the ability to toggle these different tabs here to see the different types of properties. So just a different way to deliver it. And obviously you don't want this going out every day and the other one going out every day. So just kind of space them out and be a little bit reasonable with it.
Yep, so I love it. That's fantastic for seller nurturing.
Yeah, yeah. And you'll see here lots of data also to see when it was last sent out, when it was last opened, and when they last viewed a property. So, okay. And we can get it even more granular to see what properties, not only what properties they've looked at, but how many times they've looked at properties. I love this feature because as an agent, you go through your, you do what you're supposed to do. You clear your call filters, you clear your inbox, you clear your task list. Maybe you want to try to re-engage some clients, or as you're clearing your call filter, you know, you've called this client. I used to call this client, see if I can engage them a different way. So I'm going to suggest a property for them. So this is a great way to do it, because if I see this guy's looked at this property 6 times, let's pretend it's not under contract. Maybe I just want to get it in front of them and say, hey, you know, saw this property just come on the market. Maybe it's something you're interested in. Would you like to go see it? Just a different way than making a phone call or sending a text message to try to get in front of them and get them engaged and get them responding, because that's the game.
And then the fact that you can just hit share this property. You're in the lead profile right now. You go look at the properties they're looking at. You see you looked at that one 6 times. And again, you said it's theoretically, let's say it's not under a contract.
Sure.
The other one he looked at 2 times. The other one he looked at 1 time. Well, obviously, he's probably gone and shown that, like, you know, to his spouse. He's like, hey, check this one out. Hey, let's look at it. This one's got more interest. So you can just hit that share this property button and either text it or email it to him. That easily is super easy to do. Like you said, after you go through your calls, this should probably be something you're looking at. Or as you're doing your calls, open up the individual lead profile and see if this is the angle you take as you make the dial.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I'm always looking at the data as the dialer is moving along. And by the way, we do have an integrated single line dialer. So as the dialer is moving from one lead to the next and sort of gives me that 10-second speed up, I'm going through the lead record, looking at the data. And what have I talked to them about most recently? What was my last conversation, if there was one? And if there was or wasn't, what have they been looking at? What can I then, you know, speak intelligently about, because I am the market expert.
Yep.
Right. So
absolutely.
Perfect. And to take it one step further, Austin, not only can you text them, you can create text templates. So you don't have to keep typing in the text message, right? Like, drop in the text template there, send it off, and boom, you're done. Move on to the next one.
Love it. Love it.
So super easy.
And I see right there you can attach photo or video.
Yep. Yep.
So is there a scenario here where you recognize it? I jump on my iPhone right here. If I have a Mac, this is how I operate. So how I'm thinking, I can shoot a quick video right here around that property that I know he's looking at, talk about it on a video, airdrop it, because I use a Mac to a Mac, airdrop it, and then upload it into the text and fire it off that way. Sure.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And that, again, to me, I love that, because now we're getting, you know, you want to hit, to me, you want to hit the general population consistently, because it's all about consistency, making your calls, doing your follow-up. Now we're getting a little bit more surgical, right? Like, going to take a little bit more time, but more than likely your results should be higher in doing things like that, for sure. Yeah. And these one-off messages. Yeah, for sure. And then going back to the properties page, you'll see also there's other, these aren't going to populate, but if they've saved the listing recently, you can see what that listing is. If they've requested information, and best of all, if they have, if they requested a showing on a property, that'll be in their lead record as well.
Awesome. And just to kind of elaborate deeper, if you get a showing request through the site, that's going to notify you in different ways as well, outside of just that little spot.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that to me is sort of saving it so you can refer to it later, but you're going to be notified about it separately. And again, the call to action right on the property detail page.
Perfect.
Right. If I wanted to tour this home, this is then going to go and notify the agent and get saved in my lead record if in their system.
Awesome.
Yeah. Super cool. So, all right. So let's go back to the lead record here. Where am I? And see what I didn't cover. If I have suggested any properties, they will be saved here so I can refer back to them. I think that's what I wanted to cover in the lead record. Let's see. Oh, okay. A couple other features of the system, which are really cool. So we talked about automations. We talked about lead routing. We talked about sort of lead management. We've got a great feature, which is our open house QR code, right? Mm-hmm. So this is sort of born out of our open house sign-in form. It was really started as an open house sign-in form. So you're an agent, you're doing open houses. You want to look like super fancy and technical. If you pull up the property, if I'm doing an open house at this property this weekend in Beaumont, Alberta, if I type in open house into, no, that's not going to work. Let's go here. I always revert back to my own site because I know it should hopefully work. If I remember correctly. So if I type in open house into the URL, it gives me open house sign-in sheet. Usable, you obviously have to have an iPad open or a laptop open at the open house for them to be able to manually sign in. Totally usable. We took it one step further. Let's see. And I mean, this is how easy it is, right? If I could type, if I could type in QR-open house, look at that.
Oh, awesome.
Super cool, right? Now
they could walk by, scan it, and then open up the.
Yeah, exactly. Now, getting back to, so you can design this with the follow-up features that I showed you in the tracking link, right? So you can say, here's what I want to do when somebody takes a picture of this QR code, and do lead routing and messaging and all that kind of stuff that we looked at before. So here's a thought. And what my agent does is when he does an open house, he doesn't take any information about the property at all. Compliance information and stuff you have to have there for sure, but no brochures, no pricing, nothing. Puts a bunch of QR codes around the house. What's, to me, when I did open houses, the hardest thing, again, it's like a game, is getting somebody to sign in, number one, put their name on the manual form, number one, hoping you can read it if they put it down, and then if you can read it, hoping it's actually accurate, right? QR code, put a couple QR codes around the house. Person walks into the house and you say, all you do is take a picture of that QR code, put your information in, and you will get the property information sent right to your phone. Right? So, and nowadays, since COVID, QR codes are everywhere. So it's not an anomaly. It's not something weird for the client. They're not touching your laptop or your iPad. They're doing it on their own phone. They have to put in the accurate information in order to,
because they want to receive it.
Exactly. And then you can then obviously set up actions on the back end to start an action plan the next day on an open house, start an e-alert drip on properties that are like that open house or whatever it looks like.
Amazing. Yeah, that's so brilliant, because if they're not serious, like when you walk in, people want the info, then they walk out, right? But if they're serious and you're not going to give them the info unless they scan that on hey, there's QR codes all throughout the house. If you scan that, put in your info, it's going to text it right to you. Be like, look, I'm a millennial, or I'm very techie. I don't even own a printer. Just tell them that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't own a printer. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. And for your sellers, I mean, it enables you to track better who's coming into the open house, right? So now again, you're on the cutting edge. You're showing your sellers you're doing the best job possible, and you're able to track that information and show that to them.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's great.
Cool. And then I'll tell you what we'll do. I don't know how much time we have, but I'm going to show you one last thing. I could keep going and going and going. Super cool feature. Again, great for listing appointments, right? You can get a sense of, let's see here, for this property in Jersey City, it's going to look at my database, not only see who may be looking at other properties that are similar to this, but actually rank them, right? And then enable me to message them if I want to, saying, hey, I just picked up a new listing. It seems like something you may be interested in. Let me know if you'd like to go see it, or whatever that looks like.
That's awesome. So it takes a score based off of your database and what they've been looking at, things like that. And it helps you know, like, hey, this is kind of along the lines of what this specific person's been looking at.
Exactly. And enables you to walk into a listing appointment and say, hey, by the way, I've got 61 people that could be right for your home right now, today, without doing any marketing. Right? Like I haven't even started marketing your home. I may have 61 people that are right for it, or whatever that number might be.
You could say, look, we've been marketing for a long time. We do a lot of different tactics, and this is our database. And these are, here's 7 people right here that match your criteria in our database of being a fit for your home. So yeah, that's amazing.
Exactly. So again, setting yourself apart from everybody else that's out there, because I mean, let's face it, us realtors are a dime a dozen. So
it's definitely, we've turned into the chip aisle for sure.
Yeah. And I said that was the last thing, but I'll show you one more thing, which is Sierra Academy. I love this because it enables the clients to help themselves. It enables the clients to onboard agents at the pace that they want, because all of our training is right here in Sierra Academy. So if you ever need to learn something new, if you want to revert back to something that you haven't used in a while, or again, if you're bringing a new agent on onto the team, you can let them know which of these videos they need to watch to get up to speed and test them on and things like that.
Question for you on this
really
one.
Great feature. Yeah.
So with this, as you add a new user, see how there's a progress bar right there? Is that progress is that a global one, or is that a per user account of, hey, this user's 42%, or is it as a company, like a global?
That's per user.
Awesome.
So yeah. So if you wanted to go
require your team to take this course and then go in and, as their first 90 days, like do a weekly meeting with them or a monthly meeting to see where they're at in terms of training.
That's exactly right. If I was to onboard agents, I would determine, perfect examples right here. Like, they don't necessarily need to know, there's videos in here that an agent isn't going to need to watch, where the team lead or the ops manager will, but, let them know which videos they need to watch. And to your point, every week, hey, okay, did you get through those videos? You know your Sierra, and then, within a couple of weeks, they're going to be up on Sierra, self-paced, and up and running. So,
love it.
Yeah, super cool. So I think that's it, man. Unless there was something that I missed that you wanna highlight.
Man, you touched on a ton. I know there's some AI features that are out there that are available. Not sure if there's anything you want to touch on there, but man, you went through a lot. That was super valuable to see.
Great. I'm glad that was helpful. So we are re-releasing our AI feature coming up this quarter. Clients and prospects will see that coming out. It's going to be called Lead Engage, which is going to be essentially connecting with leads from an AI perspective. So, yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about the roadmap. Like, what does the future look like for Sierra? What's coming down the pipeline?
Yeah.
What should people be excited for?
Yeah, for sure. So Lead Engage is one. Obviously, we've had it, but we're sort of re-releasing it. We're repackaging it. So we're just going to make it a little bit easier and more digestible for our clients to use. The other thing, and I stopped my share too soon. So a couple things coming out this quarter. Number one is what we're going to have an agent leaderboard, right? So we've got a little bit of tracking in the back end right now that we've really been focused on improving. I don't have any pictures of the agent leaderboard right now, but that is going to be coming out. We expect that to be released this quarter to, again, give team leads more visibility in what the agents are doing and work towards gamifying what's going on in the system. So that's going to be super cool. The other thing that I'm personally super excited about is what we call IntelliSearch. So IntelliSearch is really going to completely change the game in the way you search properties on a website. And let me show you what I mean.
Yeah. Go ahead and share again. We'll bring it right in.
Yeah, I'm going to share. Okay, cool. Hang on 1 second. Sorry about that. Share screen. Okay, so as that comes up, right now in our system and in most systems, if you're setting up a property search, you're basically clicking different criteria to set the search up with, right? Like I want a 2-bedroom, I want waterfront, and it's a checkbox, and that checkbox is only going to populate if the agent input the information in the MLS correctly and check the box for waterfront, right? Like if they skip that box, it's not going to show up in your search, right? So IntelliSearch is actually going to be a word-based keyword search that's going to search the entire MLS listing. So if the agent forgot to check the criteria box of waterfront, but mentioned waterfront in the property description, it's going to come up.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
So, and I got a screenshot of it here, which is this keyword search is built-in fire pit. Right. Like anywhere in a property listing where it said built-in fire pit, that property is going to come up in the search. The search is dynamic, so as you're typing it in, you're going to see. If I put in another keyword here, you're going to see that search change as we go and as we add keywords. So this is going to be not only on the back end, so agents will be able to use this to set up searches for their leads, but this is going to be on the front end as well. So when somebody hits your website, it's going to be that easy for them to really narrow down what they want to see. And it's going to search across MLSs, right? So if you have 3 or 4 MLSs connected, like I personally have 4 MLSs connected to my website, it's a nightmare, right? This is going to search right across all those MLSs. So this is super exciting. Again, really an industry game changer right here. We're working on this and we're beta testing it right now in a couple different areas. Q1, the beta should be done, and we're going to start seeing a lot more about this coming year for sure.
Yeah, I love it. That is really cool. And I'm thinking through a couple of different things. I'm like, does the keyword search right here have to be almost like exact? So for instance, right here, built-in fire pit, I see you wrote built-in, you wrote with a dash, and then fire pit is spaced. But if an agent were to write built-in without the dash and the fire pit is put together, would that still populate in here? Or what would that look like?
Great question. I'm going to say yes, but I'm also going to say the caveat. I'm going to need to check on what the results are.
Yeah, I'm curious.
But I will say, look, if it's not that way in the beta,
V1,
we're going to go that way because there's no way you can direct a user to. So I'm sure it's going to happen that way.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's where my brain went immediately. So playing questionnaire here, But
yeah, no, it's all good. Great point.
I appreciate it. Well, Scott, man, thank you so much for your time. Or do you have more right here to show on the?
No, we're good. I thought I clicked out of the meeting, so we're good.
No, you're good. No, I'm excited, man. I appreciate you taking the time to do this and reviewing Sierra. I think anybody watching this is just gonna immediately be mind blown if they've never seen the Sierra product. There's a lot that is offered in it. It's fantastic as well for advertising. So. We've been using it for years. So if you're going to do self-management, if you need help with management, if anything like that, like it is a great platform to advertise too. So question, what is the best way for people to contact a teammate at Sierra, somebody to be able to do maybe a one-on-one demo with them, or even get them signed up? That honestly, who knows? You might have sold them right here, Scott, and showed them everything they need to see. So what's the best way to get in contact to get started?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the easiest way is sierrainteractive.com. There's all kinds of information there. If you got any questions, and obviously plenty of places that you can schedule a demo with one of our team members to get any additional questions answered. Obviously, we only have a certain amount of time here, so I really wanted to touch on the highlights. But if you have specific questions like, oh man, I really need the system to do X, Y, Z, hop on a demo with one of our AEs and they'll walk you through that. No problem.
Love it. Love it, man. Well,
Yeah.
Scott, thank you so much for taking the time. You guys have been
Yeah,
fantastic
sure.
partners for many years. So
Yeah.
excited for the continued partnership and to be able to showcase the Sierra Interactive system to our community on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, Austin, I really appreciate the time. And again, the partnership has been awesome. We love working with Dippidi. You guys do some amazing work. Yeah, we're both just here to help our clients. So
Yep, 100%. Well, thanks, Scott. I appreciate it.
awesome. Thanks, Austin.